Hello everyone and welcome to the updated version of every DLC pack explained for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, updated for the latest DLC as of right now, DLC 18, also officially known as Future Saga Chapter 2. With that said, there'll be timestamps in the description so you can jump to any DLC that you want, all 18 of them, and I think there's a few more for like pre-orders and the Supreme Card Time update that I've included just for, well, because I can, pretty much. And that said, I'm not going over the anime music pack because although it is technically a paid DLC, it's just background music and you can read what it says if you want to get them. This is just for the DLCs and stuff like that that actually give you new playable characters in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So that said, do let me know in the comments what is your favorite DLC pack for Xenoverse 2. And yeah, this is every DLC pack explained for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Starting off, we're actually going to go over the pre-order bonus, which gives you base form Goku Black, as well as the Tail Pai Pai vehicle you can use in Conton City. Now, the reason I'm putting this here, we don't call it like DLC 1 or DLC 0, even though I think I did like a video called DLC 0 a while ago. But basically, this is a pre-order bonus that if you were to pre-order, I believe, any version of Xenoverse 2 for either Steam, PS4, or Xbox One, you'll get these two things. And if you missed this, or you didn't get the game until after it came out, you could then purchase this in your console store. I think it's like $3 or $4. It's not that much at all. And you get, once again, base form Goku Black and the Tail Pai Pai vehicle you can use in Conton City, which I believe is one of, if not the fastest vehicles you can use. Now, do keep in mind that, again, this is not available for the Nintendo Switch, and it may not be available for the next-gen version of Xenoverse 2. Once again, this video has been recorded a while before the next-gen and DLC 17 comes out, just so it's ready to go. So, if you don't have base form Goku Black, this is the reason why. Started off now with the actual first DLC pack, DLC 1, also known as the DB Super Pack 1. This will give you two new characters, those being Cabba in his base form with the Super Saiyan Awoken skill for Super Saiyan Cabba, as well as Final Form Frost, both preset 1 and preset 2. This will also give you Hit as a new mentor and 3 new parallel quests. For the purposes of this video going forward, and I know people are going to be using timestamps, that's fine, but if I say PQs, that's just short for parallel quests, just keep that in mind. So the 3 new parallel quests you will get will be PQ 101, 102, and 103. There's 5 new attacks in this DLC, those being the Breaker Energy Wave from PQ 101, the Breaker Energy Wave, a different name for the Angry Kamehameha, as well as the remaining 4 skills from Hit's mentor missions. Those being in order, the Time Skip Flash Skewer, easy for me to say, the Time Skip Flash Skewer, the Time Skip Backbreaker, the Time Skip Jump Spike, and the Time Skip Tremor Pulse. Parallel Quest 103 will give you the rather useful, I've been saving this, Kaioken Super Soul, which makes using the Kaioken Awoken skill on custom characters it just makes it a little bit more efficient and easier to use. Now, I won't mention this part going forward because it's like repeated information or what have you, but even though Cabba and Frost have unique or brand new super attacks that you can use for your custom characters, for the first couple of updates, and I don't know why, they made some of these new attacks available in the TP Medal store. So you don't actually need the DLC to get Secret Poison and Cabba's Ultimate, which I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head, instant combination, I don't know, as well as I think like Chaos Shot, Impulse Slash, that's the one I was thinking of, there you go. Yeah, just make sure you got the latest update of Xenoverse 2, and those skills will appear in the TP Medal store in Conton City in rotations. I believe it updates every week, just keep that in mind. They only did this for like the first 4 DLCs, I think at least, and then the rest were just available via the new parallel quests. Moving on now to DLC 2, also known as the DB Super Pack 2. The two new characters here are God Destruction Champa and Vados. This is the first DLC to add a new story mode mission via the Time Vault, that being the battle with Universe 6. So Universe 6 versus Universe 7, also known as the Destroyer Tournament. 3 new parallel quests, 104, 105 and 106, and 8 brand new attacks. Those being Destruction's Concerto Comet, Destruction's Concerto Starfall, Sonic Bomb, which is a second form freezer skill, interesting, God Destruction's Menace, God Destruction's Roar, Destruction's Concerto Meteor, Requiem of Destruction, and Destruction's Conductor. There's a brand new stage here as well, the Nameless Planet stage, the Super Dragon Ball disguised, and this is, at least as of right now, the last DLC to add a new vehicle, that being the Sane Space Pod. Parallel Quest 106 will give you both the You're Just Pieces in the game and the Watch Your Tongue Super Souls, which are both very, very useful, even very late game and even in high-end competitive PvP. Moving on now to, yes, you guessed it, DB Super Pack 3. This will give you 3 new characters, those being Base Form Zamasu, Preset 1 of Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, and weirdly enough, Bojack. I guess base form Bojack. That's why I thought there's only 2, my bad. Yeah, there's 3 characters here, and 3 new parallel quests, 107, 108, and 109, with 5 new skills. Those being the Super Black Kamehameha Rose from parallel quest 109, and then Reverse Launcher, Trap Shooter, Psycho Barrier, and Grand Smasher from Bojack's Mentor missions. And because of that, naturally, Bojack is also a new mentor added in this DLC. Parallel Quest 109 will give you the I really do love being immortal superstar, which is quite useful in team matches or raids if you can't use capsules or if you keep getting, knocked out. And the I like you better when you're mad super soul, which gives you faster stamina regen when your stamina is broken. Both very useful super souls to use, again, even late game. So yeah, with this update, again, you get preset 1 of Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, and this is the only time I think I'll mention this for this video, but Goku Black has a custom mentor slot, or not a custom mentor, a custom slot, which is, the way you get it is by using or by unlocking the partner customization keys, which are from raids. They may make them available in the TP mail store later on, I don't know. As of right now, you get all of them from online raids as random drops from completing said raid. If you don't have any of them, which are DLC, you can still get the keys, but you can't use them until you do purchase it. So just keep that in mind right there, just in case you have it unlocked and you're wondering why you can't use, for example, custom base form Goku Black, custom Vegito Blue, custom Rose Goku Black, etc, etc, etc. DLC 4, also known as the DB Super Pack 4, is the final DLC in the first season of DLC for Xenoverse 2, and this DLC will give you Fuse Zamasu and Vegito Blue Yosha as playable characters. 3 new parallel quests, 110, 111, and 112, with 5 new skills from those parallel quests, those being Divinity Unleashed, Lightning of Absolution, Holy Wrath, Blades of Judgment, and Divine Wrath Purification, all rather great skills. There's a brand new stage here as well, that being the Future in Ruin stage, as well as the, as of right now, final Time Vault story mode mission, that being the Warrior of Hope story mode, which is the future Trunks from Dragon Ball Super, Goku Black, you guys know what it is. Now, you can also get the full Super Saiyan 4 Goku outfit with the accessory and the, I guess, the fur included from random drops on Parallel Quest 110. At the time, this was it still is one of the best updates, DLCs rather, for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. You can also get Sword of Hope from this DLC, well, not from this DLC. This update added Sword of Hope, but you get that from the TP Metal Store. You do not need this DLC in order to get it, as well as the Super Black Kamehameha, not the Rose version, the normal one from DLC 3, I believe. But yeah, that's the first season of DLC for Xenoverse 2. Let's now move on to the extra DLCs. Moving on now to DLC 5, also known as officially Extra Pack 1. This will give you 4 brand new characters, those being Deborah, Majin Buu with Gohan absorbed, Buhan, Tapion, and Android 13, presumably, well, base form Android 13. Maybe we'll add Super 13 later on, who knows. This will also give you Zamasu, base form Zamasu, as a new mentor, and 5 new parallel quests, those being PQ 113, 114, 115, 116, and 117. This will also give you 13 new skills. The first 3 are from Zamasu's mentor training, those being In Order, God Splitter, Heavenly Arrow, and Instant Severance, and then the rest are from the new parallel quests, those being the Super Ghost Boo Attack, Candy Beam, Petrifying Spit, Evil Blast, Handy Cannon, SS Deadly Bomber, Brave Sword Slash, Hero's Flute, Evil Flame, and the Brave Sword Attack Ultimate. Now, this is part of the free update for this, and I know I'm not going to mention too much of that free stuff, but the free accompanying update for this is the update that added the well-loved Hero Coliseum. Hey guys, have you been to the Hero Coliseum yet? DLC 6, also known as Extra Pack 2. Firstly, one of the best DLCs in Xenoverse 2 right now. A fantastic update. This will give you 4 new characters, those being Ultra Instinct Goku, Jiren, Fu, and Ranger 17. I believe you will get all 3 presets of Ultra Instinct Goku, as the other 2 were added. I think one was added in the Supreme Kai of Time update, and then one in, I believe, the Conton City update. But you do need this DLC to get them, so just keep that in mind right there. This is this update also adds the Tokopedia mode with Fu. It's just like a completely new thing. It's fantastic. And speaking of which, you get Fu as a new mentor with 5, well, I say as a new mentor, kind of, but not really, as well as 5 new parallel quests, those being parallel quest 118, 119, 120, 121, and 122, with 8 new skills, those being from the new parallel quests, Rough Ranger, Power Impact, Meditation, and Power Rush. Confusion Blade, Energy Minefield, Sneaky Strike, and the Remote Serious Bomb Ultimate Attack are from the Tokopedia mode. As you increase the percentage of the Tokopedia mode, you'll then get the skills as I think like at 25%. Just keep playing it and you'll get all those skills eventually. This update also adds the free update adds the dual ultimates, which are kind of useless now, but whatever. But this is the update that in that month's V-Jump, I believe in February 2017, I think, was it? Or 2017, I think it was 2017. No, it was 2018, I do apologize. This actually was the first reveal of Master Ultra Instinct Goku before it appeared a few weeks later in the Dragon Ball Super anime. Literally, Xenoverse 2 got the reveal. Absolutely love that. And with that said, the free update of this also adds the Super Saiyan Blue Awoken skill for Saiyan custom characters, also known as CACs, making it the first update to actually add an Awoken skill for custom characters after the game was released. This is honestly one of the best DLCs Xenoverse 2 has done, even 6+ years later. The next DLC, that being DLC 7, Extra Pack 3, will give you 2 new characters, those being Super Saiyan Kefla and Super Baby Vegeta 2, with 5 brand new parallel quests, those being parallel quests 123, 124, 125, 126, and yes, you guessed it, 127, with 8 new skills, those being Reverse Shot, Variant Drive, Revenge Final Flash, Blaster Ball, Ray Blast, Gigantic Breaker, Gigantic Burst, and Revenge Death Ball. Booyah in the comments. If you know, you know. Now, this update, the free update, also added the Conton City Radio and the broadcasts of Kale, Caulifla, and Super Baby Vegeta 2, which only happens once, then they just go away forever. And again, this adds the Revenge Death Ball even Ultima, one of the strongest key attacks in the entire game. You can also get the Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku wig from Parallel Quest 125, as well as the full Janemba outfit with the accessory as well from Parallel Quest 127. Parallel Quest 125 also gives you the Blaster Ball super attack, which is, again, actually, that it might actually be the strongest key super attack as of right now in Xenoverse 2, because you can just continue to use it just by repeatedly pressing the input. Recommend getting this DLC just for that skill alone. Moving on to DLC 8, also known as Extra Pack 4, the final DLC in the Extra Pack set. This will give you 2 new characters, those being Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and Full Power Super Saiyan Broly, both of course from the then recent Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Brand new stage, the Tournament of Power Arena, with 5 new Parallel Quests, Parallel Quest 128, 129, 130, 131, and 132, with 8 new skills: Pouch Shell, Gigantic Charge, Spirit Blaster, Punisher Shield, Gigantic Rage, Assault Vanish, God Punisher, and Gigantic Roar. Yeah, this DLC adds the Tournament of Power stage, and you may think that that was added in DLC 7, because I think there's a Parallel Quest where you're on that stage, but no, it was added in DLC 8 for, I believe at least, whatever, this DLC. And of course, this DLC is themed around, as I already mentioned, the then recent release of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Broly, I don't care, you know who I mean. Now, Parallel Quest 131 will give you the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, Leave the Rest to Me Super Soul, which is very, very useful and one of my go-to Super Souls, as well as the Metamorian Fusion outfit from the same Parallel Quest 131. Next up, we have Ultra Pack 1. This DLC will give you Super Saiyan God Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, and Ribrianne as playable characters, 5 new Parallel Quests, Parallel Quest 133, 134, 135, 136, and 137, with 10 new skills, those being Pretty Cannon, Formation, Ultimate Charge, Burst Charge, Lovely Cyclone, Burst Stinger, Raid Blast, Blazing Attack, Ribrianne's Eternal Love, and Prominence Flash. This update, or rather the 3-part of this update, added the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Awoken skill for custom Saiyan Cacks. Parallel Quest 134 is exceptionally useful because it will give you the power, a lot of power, its great Super Soul, as well as both Ultimate Charge and Burst Charge. One of the most, I guess, important or just useful Parallel Quests, at least in terms of this DLC, because Burst Charge and Ultimate Charge, extremely useful, you know, to speak for themselves, and the power, a lot of power Super Soul, gives you a massive increase to both your ki and stamina. Great Parallel Quest, and I believe it's quite easy to do as well. And moving on from Ultra Pack 1, we have Ultra Pack 2, also known as DLC 10. There was only 2 Ultra Pack DLCs instead of the 4 from the Extra Pack and Super Packs, for whatever reason, I don't know. But this DLC will give you Android 21 and Majube as playable characters, as well as 5 new Parallel Quests, Parallel Quest 138, 139, 140, 141, and 142, with 8 new skills from those Parallel Quests, those being Flash Chaser, Total Detonation Ball, Photon Swipe, Savory Slicer, Dragon Blitz, Brutal Buster, Lightning Impact, and Excellent Full Course. So, this was, when this update came out, as part of the free update, they had the Goku and Majube End of Z mission where you can get the, again, I believe this is part of the free update, you get the gift, the Majube gift, I think, from the TP Mail store in Conton City, give it to Oob, who's by the World Tournament area, near Hit in Conton City, and you can do the 2 missions in the same mission, but one's quite hard to do. Like, it's actually really hard, even late game. And you can get the Thank You Dragon Ball Superstar, which is like one of the best in the entire game. Like, I consider it to be like the second best, because you'll get a massive amount of ki, stamina, and health back when you go for an ultimate, even if the ultimate fails, but it doesn't recover stamina if you have your stamina broken. Just keep that in mind. And you can get the end of the Goku Gi for your custom characters. But after you do that, it then says, oh, and with that, Xenoverse 2 comes to an end. There's never been a bigger lie told in Xenoverse history. But then after that, it says, oh, if you enjoyed this, there'll be more in the future. LMAO. It could have been because I believe at the time this was the end of the first development team before the second one took over. Don't know, don't really care. We've got plenty of more DLC after this anyway. Yeah, and PowerQuest 140 will give you the very overpowered Super Soul and my personal main Super Soul, the Now Then Time for Another Delightful Hunt Super Soul. Very, very nice. Also, I believe this update... I think this update may have added the Crystal Raid mode. I can't remember off the top of my head. Again, doesn't matter either way, as that's part of the free update. Oh, and now we have the free Supreme Kai of Time update, also unofficially known as DLC 11. So we called this DLC 11 because of how long it was like promoted for and how big of an update it was, and given that there's a brand new playable character, again, that being the Supreme Kai of Time, even though this was a free update and you just had to get the latest version, right? But you do need online to access, a lot of it, including the Supreme Kai of Time tournament to get her as a playable character. Now, quite a lot of stuff was added in this update. I'll go over how to get her in a moment, but this is completely YouTubers' fault that we call this DLC 11, and therefore every update after that, we call it one DLC number after what it actually is. Again, I'll explain it a little bit more in a moment. This might be mostly my fault, right? I remember me and Slowblow did our videos when the updates, or rather when the V-Jump came out, and I think he may have posted his like a minute before me, or vice versa, and we both called it DLC 11, and it just stuck because we knew more DLC were coming after DLC 10, so we just called this one because it was the next update, and the next major update, DLC 11, and it's a little bit weird after that. So it's pretty much me and Slow's fault, probably just my fault to be honest, because again, it just stuck like wildfire. So yeah, we call this DLC 11 despite it just being the 11th major update. And again, you get the Supreme Kai of Time as a playable character when the Conton City tournament event returns. It comes back between sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but give or take between every 3 to 8 weeks. Sometimes it might not be available for a couple of months, but it's between every 3 to 8 weeks. Again, give or take. This also added artwork or loading screen artworks, which is such an underrated thing in my opinion. I love it. As well as partner custom keys to add more custom characters, or custom original characters like custom Vegeta Blue, Gogeta Blue, I think Rose Goku Black in this update as well, and then later on custom Omega Shenron, GT Goku, Kefla, etc, etc, etc. Raw. So yeah, we call this DLC 11, and because of that, we then called the next DLC, which will be Legendary Pack 1, which we'll get into in a moment, we then called that DLC 12, and then it went on and on and on. So there is that there just to keep in mind. But yeah, that's DLC 11. Even though it's just the 11th update, not the 11th DLC. And now we have Legendary Pack 1, also known as officially as DLC 11, but unofficially as DLC 12. This adds only 2 new characters, those being Pycon and God of Destruction Toppo, with 2 new extra missions, which are in the Time Nest, not the Time Vault, just new, I guess, like somewhat standalone missions to some extent, whatever, as well as 4 new Parallel Quests, Parallel Quest 143, 144, 145, and 146, with 6 new skills: Hyper Tornado, Burning Shot, Destructive Fracture, Destructive Flare, Thunder Flash, and Destructive Fission, aka the Hakai. Now, this update, again, as I mentioned, was the first DLC to add the very well-loved and well-received extra missions, as well as this is the update that added in the files the Conton City TV, which later on would become available in its own standalone update. But again, that was just like a random free update that won't be in this video. Parallel Quest 146 gives you the Hakai and the Dragon Ball Super Bardock Battle Suit. In Parallel Quest 145, you'll get the very useful and very overpowered Super Soul, the Topo. I've cast aside everything for this Super Soul. I believe this update also added the... Actually, no, it did. It added the Hero Vault, but unfortunately now, the Hero Vault, if you try and access it, you just can't do it, even if you go into a multi-lobby. As already mentioned, this video is being recorded before DLC 17 drops, just so this video is ready to go. So when the next-gen version comes out, don't be surprised if they completely remove this robot in Conton City, unless they plan to do a second Conton City Vault DLC. They absolutely could. I personally don't think they will, so just keep that in mind there. But again, the Conton City TV and the Conton City Hero Vault robot and vaulting system, they were added as part of the free update for this paid DLC. And now we have Legendary Pack 2, also known as DLC 13. Possibly so far, before DLC 17 comes out at least, this is widely considered to be the best DLC that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has ever done. This DLC will give you 4 new characters, those being Full Power Jiren, DBS Gogeta from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie with the Super Saiyan Awoken, a unique Super Saiyan transformation in fact, as well as Super Saiyan 2 Kale and Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. This will give you a new stage, the Volcanic Wasteland stage, but granted, it is pretty much just the destroyed Namek stage with a bit more saturation, orange, and the removal of the Namekian houses. It's whatever. As well as 3 new extra missions and 4 new parallel quests. Parallel Quest 147, 148, 149, and 150. With 10 new skills from these new parallel quests, those being Crush Cannon, Double Crush, Crush Stream, Blaster Cannon, Blaster Bomb, Blaster Stream, Comet Strike, Meteor Explosion, Impact Flare, and Power Wall. Like I said, this is one of, actually it is the best DLC Xenoverse 2 has done so far, in my opinion, and the free update for this DLC actually added the Super Saiyan God Awoken skill for custom Saiyan characters. There's only 2 DLC packs in the Legendary Pack set, so moving on now, we have DLC 14, the Conton City Vault update, where we, as the player base, were able to vote on what we wanted to see added based off of selections, or I guess with Android 18 from Dragon Ball Super being added in DLC 17, and probably Bergamo later on. I guess it was, which do you want added first, right? So we had 3 new characters added here, the 3 most voted from the most to the least. The most was, unsurprisingly enough, Ultra Instinct signed Goku, then Dispo with the Supersonic Mode Awoken skill, which is unique to him, and then thirdly, GT Vegeta with, of course, the Super Vegeta 1 and 2 Awoken skill. 2 new extra missions, which are absolutely gorgeous to look at. What if Goku got Ultra Instinct early against Kid Buu at the end of Dragon Ball Z, with 4 new parallel quests, Parallel Quest 151, 152, 153, and 154, with 10 new skills for your custom characters. Those being Ultrasonic Blitz, Spirit Pulse, not Sonic Pulse, Spirit Pulse, Celestial Wave, Justice Kick, Justice Blade, Wild Buster, Shield Barrier, Counter Impact, Sign of Awakening, and Circle Flash. With Parallel Quest 151 adding the, I'll keep adding a bit of power to my attack Super Soul, which gives you just more damage when you go for a grab, which I believe can be stacked up to 10 times. Quite useful if you're running a grab build and you don't have the Zudoya, what it's called Super Soul, which as of right now, that latter Super Soul is from online raids. And next we actually have one, a little bit of a unique one, which is the Legend Patrol DLC. Now, we didn't call this DLC 15 or anything like that because we knew that this was being released to be made available, to purchase outside of the Nintendo Switch at the same time of the last DLC, the Conton City Vault DLC. I believe these came out literally the exact same time, or rather they were made purchasable at the exact same time outside of the Switch. The Legend Patrol is the Xenoverse 1 story mode with the two DLCs, which is GT, which is Xenoverse 1, DLC 1 and 2. DLC 3 was Restriction of F, which had no story mode stuff. Bit of a tangent or history there, whatever. But basically, they made this available because it's a Xenoverse 1 story mode playable in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 came out late October 2016, and the Nintendo Switch came out, I think it was late March 2017, so it came out after the release of Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. So instead of Bandai releasing Xenoverse 1 for the Switch, they just made it so, I think for the Switch, it's in the base game for the Switch, I don't know, but basically the Legend Patrol, the Xenoverse 1 story mode, is playable on Nintendo Switch by talking to this robot right here in the Time Nest in Conton City. They then made it several years later purchasable on all consoles outside of the Switch. So if you don't have Xenoverse 1 or you want to replay it in 60 FPS on PS4 and Xbox One, you can do. I actually like this. It's the full Xenoverse 1 story mode in Xenoverse 2. There's not really much else to say about that. But instead of calling it DLC 15 or have you, it's just there. It came at the same time. We knew this was coming because it's in like V-Jump and all that. I did do a video talking about it, I think. Again, a bit of a tangent there. Long story short, it's the Xenoverse 1 story mode playable in Xenoverse 2 outside of the Nintendo Switch. I didn't need to be talking for nearly 2.5 minutes on this, did I? I really didn't. Moving on to the Hero of Justice Pack 1, also known as DLC 15, even though it's the 14th paid update. I've already explained that earlier in the video. This update added 3 new characters, those being Gamma 1, Gamma 2, and Gohan from Dragon Ball Superhero in his base form that can go to unique animation of Potential Unleashed. 4 new Pedal Quests, Pedal Quest 155, 156, 157, and 158, with 7 new skills, those being Heroic Counter, Gamma Blaster, Gamma Impact, Heroic Assault, Shooting Strike, Super Gamma Blaster, and the Core Breaker Ultimate. Super Gamma Blaster and Core Breakers are 2 ultimates. Sorry, just how I said that. Now, this update did add, as of right now, the best superstar, in my opinion, the you need to be more careful superstar, which if you don't know, when you reset your stamina or get your stamina broken, you'll get all of your stamina recharged instantly once per match, and you get an extra large or extra large recovery in stamina when your opponent goes for the first ultimate per match. But again, if you have your stamina broken at the time, it's not going to recover any faster, so it'll be a little bit of a waste. This is the first of 2 DLCs based off of the then recent release of the Dragon Ball Superhero movie. And I'll be honest, this DLC was a little bit of a letdown. Now, I don't know if things were delayed because a couple of months after this and before DLC 16, Hero of Justice Pack 2, there was a free update, which I'll briefly mention because, again, it's a free update. Just get the latest update and you've got it in the base game, I guess. So it's not, it's completely free. I don't think you even need online, which basically added Cell Max, some of the DLC 16 stuff in the files, as well as the Beast Awoken skill, making it available for all races outside of just Saiyan custom characters. So I don't know if that was meant to be in the Hero of Justice Pack 1 or even 2 DLC, but that being released, I think, 4-5 months after and a couple of months before Hero of Justice 2. Maybe plans changed, got delayed, what have you. But honestly, apart from that, this was a bit of a letdown in terms of an update. Them fine characters, the skills are okay, but it was the first DLC where in the free update it didn't add any new partner custom keys and no new extra mission story mode stuff. A bit of a letdown, to be honest. It's a fine update, but it's just okay, especially compared to the Conton City Vault update rather, and especially compared to the Legendary Pack 2. 2. Moving on from Hero of Justice Pack 1, we now have, unsurprisingly enough, Hero of Justice Pack 2, also known as DLC 16. This adds 3 new characters, those being Gohan Beast, Power Awakening Piccolo, and Orange Piccolo, with 2 new extra missions against Cell Max, which are just fantastically, cutscenes are just so incredible, and a new stage, the Red Ribbon Army Yard stage, even though this was added in the free update I've just mentioned in Hero of Justice Pack 1 between the 2 updates, but it made it available to use outside of certain missions and raids and all that, as well as 4 new Parallel Quests, Parallel Quest 159, 160, 161, and 162, with 7 new skills, those being Fierce Fist, Demonic Destruction, Demon Ray, Demon Flash Strike, Demon Flurry, Apocalyptic Burst, and the special being Cannon Beast version. Rather nice. Yeah, Parallel Quest 162 will give you the Shenron Really Went the Extra Mile Super Soul, which dramatically, if not guarantees, the drop rate of material items. You're only going to use this pretty much if you are going to go and grind for what we call Super Mix Capsules and Super Mix Capsule Zs to make overpowered 6-star QQ Bangs. Yeah, fine update. Yeah, I don't have really much to say about that apart from that. Fair enough. And now we have DLC 17, also known as Future Saga Chapter 1. Great update, if I do say so myself. Well worth it. This will give you 5 new characters, the first DLC for Xenoverse 2 to actually give you 5 characters, as previous DLCs have only given you 4. These 5 characters being Dragon Ball Super Android 18 from the Hero Vault, sure, why not? Dragon Ball Super Videl, Broly Restrained from Dragon Ball Z with the Super Saiyan Awoken skill, Ultra Super Villain Super Saiyan God Vegeta, and Ultra Super Villain Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. This will also give you 3 extra missions, which are incredibly fun. These are based around the new characters, or the 3 of the 5 new characters, those being Restrained Broly, Ultra Super Villain Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, and of course Ultra Super Villain Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Great missions, and this will give you a massive 12 new parallel quests. These new parallel quests are Parallel Quest 163 to 174. So Parallel Quest 163, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, 171, 172, 173, and 174. From these new parallel quests, you can get 15 new skills. Those skills are Gigantic Cluster, Eraser Bomb, Gigantic Explosion, Variable Snipe Shot, Steel Mirage, Pendulum Bullet, really fun skill, Seagull Combination, Burning Swan, Justice Dive, Crimson Edge, Divine Spear, Big Bang Knuckle, there's so many, Big Bang Knuckle, Wild Stringer, Divine Ray Bomb, and Final Rampage. Side note with this update, again, I would say so far, this is the best paid DLC that Xenoverse 2 has gotten. Absolutely 100% worth it in my opinion. Moving on now to Future Saga Chapter 2, also known as DLC 18 for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So getting this DLC will give you access to 3 new playable characters, those being, as you can see right here, Full Power Ultra Super Villain Jiren, Daima Mini Goku's base form from Dragon Ball Daima, and God of Destruction Belmod. This will also give you 1 new extra mission, which has, it's actually split up into 3 individual missions, but it's all like fit into the same thing there, if that makes sense. 4 parallel quests, 7 new skills, a couple of outfits, new artwork, and new super souls as per usual. As I've just said, the characters that you get unlocked, if you want to see what they look like, are God of Destruction Belmod, Full Power Ultra Super Villain Jiren, and Goku Mini base form from Dragon Ball Daima. The 4 new parallel quests you get from purchasing Future Saga Chapter 2 for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 are Parallel Quest 175, Parallel Quest 176, Parallel Quest 177, and of course, you guessed it, Parallel Quest 178. The skills that you get are from Parallel Quest 175, you get both the God of Destruction's Plaything and God of Destruction's Poise. For Pale Quest 176, you get God of Destruction's Might. From Pale Quest 177, you get 3 skills, those being Full Pale Destruction, Dragon Spark, and Soaring Rush. And on Pale Quest 178, you get the Burst Blitz Ultimate Attack, which I believe is a Daima Goku skill. You can take a look right here at the outfits and all the other stuff. Pause at your own convenience should you wish to do so. And very quickly, here are the ultimate win conditions to get the skills unlocked here for Pale Quest 175 all the way to Pale Quest 180. No, it's not. Just 175 to 178. I don't know why I couldn't read that for some reason. Anyway, moving on very quickly. As you go into the time nest, once you do have this DLC purchased, there will be a one called Time Rift here towards, I think it'll be the closest thing towards the mountain. But if you want to know what the names of the 3-part missions are, like it's one extra mission, but again, it's split up into 3 individual missions. It took about an hour for me to actually do it in total. It will be A Promise Fulfilled, Warriors on the Rampage, and Justice versus Jiren. And that's what you get if you purchase Future Saga Chapter 2, also known as DLC 18, for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.